Hi everyone, this is Frankie-Lou and
Angus.
We are coming to you from the Nelligan Homestead in just outside of Calgary. I know that the majority of you live in the Lower Mainland, and that is where I grew up. But we live here, and it's very cold here. What's the temperature outside today, Angus?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's like -10.
Yeah, it's -10 degrees here. We have 5 acres. We have 27 raised beds. We've got chickens. We've got bees. We've got 2 greenhouses. We're very, very into farming. But we also have -10 temperatures today. Whereas at the end of March, I know most of you are putting your potatoes in the ground here. Back in Ladner, we're not. What we're doing is we've decided that we're not going to let this cold get us down, right, buddy? Yep. And we are reusing something that most of you probably have a lot of around the house.
Mouth jugs!
Yeah, it's not our technique, but boy, did we fall in love with it. We've lived here for 7 years and have done all sorts of indoor planting, and it's very fussy, moving it from lights up to the greenhouse. And last year we decided to give this a try. And now it's pretty much all we do because we found that even though the plants were smaller to start, because they had a chance to harden off and get cold hardy, they got caught up and were way healthier than a lot of the other plants that we had, right, Angus?
Yep.
Okay, so let's get to it. All right, the reason we're doing this is to extend our extraordinarily short season here. Last year we had 60 days frost-free. That's not a lot of time. So what we want to do is we want to get everything going good and strong so that when it does get into the garden, it takes off and has a chance to grow before the end of August, which is when we usually have our first snow or frost. Number 1 material.
Milk jug.
Milk jug. Okay, this is going to act like a little mini greenhouse. And we're going to prepare it so that it can be planted. So first off, we're going to use my favorite tool. Yes, okay. This is many applications beyond what the most obvious one is. And after a lot of practice, I've determined that this is definitely the best way to poke our drainage holes in here without crushing it and misshaping it. So, Angus, could you please poke the holes in there for me, buddy?
Yep. So what you want to do is, so you put 4 on the bottom, 1 in each corner. Quadrant. Whatever.
Yep. While he's doing that, I'm going to talk about the kind of seeds that are good for this. You want cold hardy plants, perennials, things that need stratification, which is sort of that chilling beforehand. So today I'm going to plant strawberry. I know strawberries are already blossoming where you guys are, but I'm going to plant them today. And we have licorice mint. We like to grow this on the edges there.
Yep.
We like to grow this because we do have bees, honeybee colonies. Keep working on it. You had something to say about that?
And also, once you're done the 4 holes in the bottom, then you poke 2 very close to the bottom on each face.
The reason we need so much drainage is because this isn't going to go into a frozen environment, and we do not want things to get waterlogged. So that's tons of drainage. Licorice mint. If you are a bee lover and like plants that aren't fussy, this is a good one. It smells like licorice, hence the name, and the bees love it.
And the deer don't eat it because it's licorice.
Yeah, the deer don't like it. I'm also going to plant some of this multicolored cauliflower. Most of the brassicas are good for this because it is they tend to be a little bit cold hardy, or they don't like a lot of heat. So this is a good way to get them started. Okay, so I guess it's almost done this. In the meantime, I will talk about the soil that I'm going to use. I used to fuss around with a potting mix, and then I would pot up to something that was half potting mix and half standard mix, and then I'd go to my dirt in the soil, and I usually plant around 400 seedlings minimum, and that gets really, really time consuming. So now, after working at a garden center for quite a while, I discovered my favorite product is Pro Mix. Yes, I have drank the Kool-Aid with this product. I've done a lot of research, did little experiments, get excellent root growth with this. I use the organic variety, and honestly, yes, it's not as good as getting your seedling started, but it takes away some of the fuss that you're going to have later, and you can take it from start to finish. You could start a planting with this product and never have to move it into anything hardier. It does the trick. It's soft enough to work for your seedling, but rich enough to work for your full-grown plants. So this is what we do. All right, Angus has got, notice he has 4 good drainage holes in each one in each quadrant and 2 on each side near the bottom here.
With this step, make sure you watch the whole thing before you do it, because there are many mistakes that can be made.
And we've made them all. So that's why we know so much about this. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a very sharp knife and I'm going to poke a hole here and a hole here. Now,
make sure they aren't connected.
Yes, on the milk jug, you want to do it right below the handle so that you can form, this is going to form a hinge. It's going to be a lid later once the jug is planted. Now we're going to cut from hole to hole.
And not this way.
Yes, around this way. Okay, so I guess he's going to do that. He's going to cut all the way around there. So you're basically making a little mini greenhouse out of your milk jug. We just save these through the year. I'm going to probably plant hundreds of these by the end of this time here. I've got friends who are collecting them. My one tip is rinse it right away, because otherwise you're going to be dealing with something that smells like yogurt.
And you're going to need to use bleach.
Yeah, so you can avoid the use of bleach if you do it right away.
And also, don't crush your milk jugs.
Don't crush your milk jugs.
And keep them somewhere.
Yeah, although if you do crush them, there's a little trick. You just go blow it out.
But that's gross when
it's gross if it's also yogurty. Yeah. So we're getting there. Okay. You gonna go open that for me? This takes a little while, a little practice. The other thing I like to do is prepare one of these in advance, because God knows when you go to put it in the garden, you're not going to want to get your dirty fingers and do this at that time. So do it now, and then you have it ready. There you go. I guess it's created a perfect planter now. Okay, see the hinge hinges nicely. And now we are going to fill this with soil. Now, I want to put at least a few inches of soil, and I want to leave about an inch at the top for some space so that when I do take the hinge off and have to water it, it's not going to go over the sides. Okay, there we go. Nice soil. And I think we'll do the licorice mint first. Sure. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. With this, I do like to use a little bit more. This says there's 600 seeds in here. I'm a little skeptical.
Well, this licorice mint, if you're wondering what kind of licorice mint it is, it's called Agastache, but
we don't know if we're saying that right. Yeah. So with these perennials, these tiny, tiny seeds, you just need to basically sprinkle it on top and do a little bit of movement of the soil so you know that you got contact. As a general rule, you want your seeds to go in about twice the depth that they actually are, so that they have a chance to germinate and get to the top before they run out of the energy that's stored inside the cotyledon of the seed. Yeah. Okay, so I got I don't want to pack it down too much. I've pre-moistened this soil, so it's actually a little wetter than I would normally have it, but for the planting in this, we found that that's the best bet. We're going to close it up. We are going to label. Now, I'm also going to put it on my label. I'm going to write Agastache. I'm going to put that in there because just in case something happens and I can't read my label on my milk jug, I'm going to write it up here on the top. I like to use a metallic Sharpie because then when I'm writing in the dark part, I can still see it. If I use a black Sharpie, I can't see it through the dirt, right?
Unless you remove the milk jug.
I put the date on here, so that today it's May 31st. And if I'm planting individual seeds...
It's not May 31st.
It's March 31st. That was wishful thinking. March 31st. And then I'll put lots. because when I'm planting things like tomatoes, I write the exact number that I have on there so that I know how many I can expect to show up. I'm also going to write it down here, on here, right near the bottom, because the next step is the duct taping. You do need to have duct tape for this. Now, this is one case where you do not want to cheap out and go get your dollar store duct tape. Get the heavy-duty, expensive Canadian Tire duct tape, because this is going to be exposed to the elements, and if you use cheap stuff, it is
likely to peel off.
Yeah, and then
unless you use like 1,000 turns of it.
So I usually do this in 2 steps, starting for 1/2. Uh-oh, we're going to have a guest appearance in a second here. This is our bad cat, Melba. Yep. She has no foreseeable purpose in our home. Our outdoor cat is good at taking care of rodents. She's just good at eating my plants.
Yep, and getting fat from the dog food.
Yep. Okay, and we're going to tape it here. You want to make sure it's good and sturdy on there.
Yep.
Not attractive.
You should be able to lift it from the thing without it falling.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go put this out in the snow. That might sound crazy, but what's going to happen is this is going to maintain the humidity in here so that the little bit of snow that gets in here as it continues to snow will
melt.
Will be enough to keep this warm. We are luckily occasionally having a day where it goes above 0. So when we have more consistent temperatures, we'll start to see sprouts. We can leave this closed until the sprouts come to here. It'll be crowded and stuff, but that's okay. And then you unpeel it and open it and let it harden off during the day. Later on, when we get there, you know, like in 2 months, we will show you that. But for now, we really recommend that you do give this a try. I barely do any other planting now, even with my tomatoes and my hot crops. I do this in a greenhouse because the humidity has been so great. And the other thing that I use it for, which I'll show you later in another video, is propagating. It's awesome because it's a good humidity dome for when you're propagating your annual baskets, right? Anything else you want to say about these?
Well, make sure that like you don't want them to be like underneath a like
eave or something. You actually want this out in the open.
Yes.
Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but you want the natural elements. That's why this works. It's because it's using nature.
Yep. So, and also make sure that it doesn't have a cap on it.
Take the cap off. Okay, it needs the oxygen and it also needs the humidity. We've got about 30 on the go right now on our deck, right?
More like 500.
No, we only have 30. We probably will have over 100 by the time we're done, though. And let us know if you have questions. And I hope this helps. I'm a planting fanatic, and this has been life-changing. Okay? It's a great way to use up all these old milk jugs, too, because you can always recycle them after you've used them or save them for next year again. Is that it?
Yep. But if you do have any questions, email them to Frank.
No. I think there's a comment section at the bottom of this. We might be able to help you on Facebook. Okay? Thanks very much. Have a great day. Stay safe.